Hello. I'm not sure I'm live yet, but I think I am. I'll pretend I am. All right. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about whether you're able to bring your true self in the roles that you defend. And so you may have heard that a lot, right? Just be true. No, just be yourself. You may have thought about, oh, wow, I love acting because of truth. You may have heard a lot of acting teachers tell you we're really looking for the truth and nothing else. And you may feel that you are, when you're performing, especially when you're taping an audition or when you're in the room with a casting director, you may feel that that truth is escaping you. You might feel that you're close to it when you're preparing and rehearsing and opening to the material, and yet when you're in pressure and urgency from a tape or again from an audition, you may feel pulled into directions that are like, oh, but they want this, or I think the right way to do it, or I think what they want is if I do it this way, or if this character is written like this, or the description of the character is written like this, then it means I must do it this way. And so the more you do that, of course, you may feel like, oh, shoot, I'm not being my true self. So it might be a little bit confusing for you to really know, well, what should I let myself be pulled by? Is it what they want? Is it what's right for the character or the piece? Is it what is written? Is it my truth? How do I navigate all of these things? And am I able to actually bring my true self, my perspective, my human take on these circumstances when I'm auditioning or acting? And so you may have taken a lot of classes for that. Of course, you may be reading a lot of books. You may be training a lot, working hard. Hi, Michigan. And you may be feeling like, oh, well, it's not improving as much as I want. I really want to be super truthful, like some of the amazing actors I watch in the movies that made me decide to become an actor. And I want to get to that level of truth. I want that. And you may feel like you're far from that and that there's something in the way of you being that truthful. So yeah, you may have caught yourself doing more and more classes and reading more and more books and questioning yourself and having an inner critic voice and, thinking about it a lot and self-doubting yourself and doing a million takes before you choose the one that you're going to send to a casting director, or contemplating very many different choices before you go in for a character, before you defend them, before you make your choice and your decision. So it can be very confusing, and I hear a lot of actors kind of loop a little bit in anxiety around that, like, what's the right way? And if there's a right way, like, yeah, my truth should come after that. And what is my truth? So there's many layers to this question of whether you're able or not to bring your true self to defend a character. And I'm, empathizing a lot with what you're feeling, because obviously you're passionate about acting. And when you do have a role to defend, you really want to give it all your heart and soul. And you are putting your effort and your energy in it. And so when you have the opportunity to defend someone, you really want to be able to do it in a place of truth where you'll be fulfilled and the character will be fulfilled with a human and the audience will be impacted. You don't want the fake. The fake doesn't work. It doesn't work on you when you're watching an actor being fake. It does nothing to you. So you don't want to be in that place. So I understand, and I also understand that you're trying to work harder and study more and learn more and more and more about acting. I get that that's human, and yet I also know that's not working. that is not going to give you your true self when you're defending a character. So the way I would like to take this discussion is, again, first and foremost, to say I understand why you're feeling pulled in every direction, that you're not really feeling that access to your truth, and that it must be very confusing and frustrating. So the way I would like to talk about this is to look a little bit, to rewind, and to look a little bit at the reason for maybe the connection or disconnection with your true self. Let's first explain what that is, right? So what is your true self? I'm going to say, and let me know if you agree with that your true self is the one you were born as. You were born with your DNA, with your physical sensations, with your emotions, with your behavior, with your everything that makes you, your juice, your essence, right? Unique, never been one like you, never will be another one like you, not here or anywhere else in the world. So that's who you're born with. You're born with your true self. And then so you can say if you agree or you disagree, but I'm seeing someone who's agreeing. So if we agree on the fact that your true self is the one you were born with, we can also say that from the moment you're born until you grow up, until now as an adult, what is happening is the opposite of honoring your true self. So what do I mean by that? Well, when you were born, you were most probably crying, and most parents, hospital nurses, etc., will suggest that we put a pacifier in your mouth to pacify you. So that's saying no to your crying. That's saying no to your truth. Then when you got angry or fussy, your parents would say, don't yell, don't get angry, you can't do that, right? And so they would retract their love a little bit, or the safety, and then that felt really scary, so you wanted that love and safety back. And so you would try to modify your behavior, therefore not being true to you anymore, modify your behavior in order to be sure that your caregivers would continue to take care of you because your life depended on them, right? When you got scared, your parents probably told you, don't get scared. There's no reason to be scared. So again, they denied your true self, your energy in motion. Your emotions are your truth. Your sensations, your body sensations, anger, the voicing of it, the fear, the sadness, the joy, the way that moves in your body is unique in the entire world. And if anyone interrupts that energy of yours, which only you have, it's therefore asking you to not be your true self, but to start adapting and behaving like others want you to behave. So mom and dad will say, don't cry, don't yell, don't get scared. And then school will say, be quiet, don't move, don't behave like this, don't learn that, spend your time with this, don't talk, eat when you're told. So your whole entire childhood, even though people are well-intentioned around you, is spent dishonoring your true self. So you're born absolutely true self, and then starts the conditioning, the programming, the education, the caring of your parents and of school that starts to put something on top that will start to become learned patterns of behavior. So your nervous system is trained to repress your true self. Because when you repress your true self, mommy's happy, papa's happy, you get the love, teachers are happy, you get the friends, you get the belonging, you get the validation, you get safety. So you end up walking like this. So fast forward, you go to an audition and you've never undone this. So you're walking in as a good little soldier. You've learned all the behaviors that one must have in order to keep everyone happy, in order to please everyone. And inevitably, your nervous system is so trained, it's going to look for, what does the casting director want? What does the writer want? What did the producer mean? What does the director could possibly want? What is written that should mean it should be that way? What is the right way? So that I stay safe, I stay loved, I book, I get validated. So that's what's happening. When you're acting, especially in pressure, when you're auditioning, you are not in your true self. You're in your ego, your adaptive behaviors, your coping mechanisms that made you and kept you safe during your entire childhood until now. Only you're blind to these things. So you may be an artist and you may really want to be truthful. If this is what's in your nervous system, and this is truth, you don't have access to that. That's a muscle. It's a hard-wired muscle that is locking your behaviors into habitual, familiar loops that it will not move away from. So when you're going to an audition or when you're taping, basically what your nervous system is going into is a fight or flight. Like when you were at school doing a test, I gotta be good. I gotta pass. If not, what's gonna happen to me if not? Humiliation, rejection, no validation, all of those things, lack of safety. So are you able to defend your characters from your true self? I will say, for most actors I start working with, no matter the level, some actors are working a lot, but they're coming to us because they feel they don't have a true self. They have no access to it. And even though they're working a lot, it makes no difference in their happiness. They feel miserable because they're not being their true selves. And so it's painful. And same goes for actors who are not working and who are not booking because they're really unable to be their true selves. So mostly, I would say people that I see start working with us like this. And so they don't have access to their true self. They might try really, really hard to not be faking, to not be pushing, fabricating, pretending, doing make-believe. Really, you might have caught yourself there. Like, really, I don't want to push. I don't want to exaggerate. I don't want to dramatize. I don't want to... But you know what you don't want to do, but you have no access, really, to your original born nervous system, your innate nervous system, your innate DNA, essence, and juice, because it's been locked into conditioning. So the work we do is to help actors undo this and wake up this so that they can start to defend their roles from a place of truth, which means from themselves, not from an idea of what the character should be, not from an idea of what the casting director would want, not from trying to be good, not from pleasing, not from trying to book, not from trying to be better than others, not from trying to win, just from being. No doing in there, just from being present as myself and unique. So when that happens, we see actors do tapes and audition for roles and they walk away with other roles, meaning you get seen for role A, but you're so extraordinarily present, relatable, truthful, unique as your true self that casting directors want to give you a part no matter what. So that's when we see a lot of actors report that, they changed the race, they changed the age, they changed the gender, they changed, the number of lines, they changed the storyline. You were going to die, you're not dying in the show anymore. So it's a total different ball game when you are showing up, when your true self is showing up in the room or on tape or on film. Suddenly the character you're defending is really alive. Suddenly your energy is really devoted to the character rather than devoted to your ego. Because when you walk in like this, you're really busy trying to defend your ego because you think you're going to be attacked about being who you are, because that's how you were raised. So you're only in coping mode here. So there's no fulfillment for you. The character's not alive. It's just a make-believe version, a cookie-cutter version of what you think is right or is the idea. And the audience is not touched. And so no one wins in that case. When you're showing up like this, really what you have to offer, because you're alive and human and present, you're truthful, you're you, is so much more interesting, so much more important, so much more powerful than the idea of what it should be, than what is written, than what the casting director had in mind. Inevitably, when you show up with your true self, you over exceed expectations. You blow people away because you're alive. And your responsibility as an actor is to bring life. It's not to make a right choice. It's to bring life. Whose life? Yours. Right? So you're not defending your ego. You're defending a character. You're defending a role. And if you're showing up fully alive for it, truthful, then it's vibrant. Then people feel something and they want some of that. If you're showing up coping, fabricating, producing, pretending, it can work. You might get a couple bookings for a couple scenes left and right, but you won't be fulfilled. You won't be rebooked. The audience won't be touched because you're not there. You're not alive. The most important ingredient in your entire career is your essence, your truth, your DNA, what makes you you, that no one has ever had and will ever have. And there's 1 out of 17 billion chances that you would have been here. I think that's the number. It's for you to be you. It's not for you to be a cookie cutter version of what you think society wants of you. You were here to deliver you. Nothing less, nothing more. You. That's the medicine the world needs. So I hope this makes sense for you. If it does, and if you want to look into this type of undoing, I'm not an acting teacher. I'm a non-acting coach. That's what I am. If you want to undo all of that programming and that wiring and to wake up your true self in your nervous system, then you can type free 100 and we can send you some free trainings so that you can get started. If you're like, no, I want to do this for real and dive deep, let us know in the comments and we'll start a conversation with you to see if we're a fit. All right. Well, I hope this was helpful and I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.